Hey guys, welcome to another video, and today, well, you could probably guess from the title of this video. I was watching this video with one of these fan videos with Thor fighting Superman, and I was saying Thor could potentially overpower Superman, could potentially beat Superman, because with his hammer, because all you have to do, what Thor has to do is throw Thor's hammer and Superman would go like, boom! And this one person said, well, that's not true, because it takes strength. I said, no, it does not. It doesn't take strength. It takes you being worthy. And then they were saying, well, the Hulk in one person wielded Thor's hammer. And I was saying, okay, but that would tell me that that person Hulk has to be worthy up front. What you're telling me is that okay, Hulk did use Thor's hammer, but he had to be worthy. He was worthy to wield Thor's hammer. It takes, because if that was the case, why didn't we see the Hulk / Bruce Banner wield Thor's hammer in the MCU? In the fight in the helicarrier freight, we saw Thor and Hulk fight, and we even saw Thor throw the hammer to Hulk, and Hulk tried to grab it, and he was like, ooh! And Hulk tried to pick the hammer up. I mean, to be honest, that kind of proves my case about Thor. About with Hulk, he wasn't exactly worthy, and it doesn't take strength. We saw the Hulk struggling. Now, if we're going to talk about the MCU, I'm going to get to Superman soon. I'm just going to make all these points for my larger point. If, like for Steve Rogers, he wasn't worthy of wielding Thor's hammer in Age of Ultron. We saw him move it a few inches, but he wasn't worthy. Now, there's a lot of fan theories that's been floating around, which I can see being plausible, that the reason why Steve Rogers couldn't wield Thor's hammer in Age of Ultron is because he he knew about Bucky Barnes' involvement of Iron Man's parents' death, but he chose not to say anything. Now, I can see that being a thing in the MCU. That would make sense. My personal theory on top of that is that he also knew about Bucky Barnes being alive, but he chose not to say anything. Now, that could be wrong, but that's my theory. And if I'm wrong, I'll be a man enough to say it. And if it took strength, then Mr. Incredible from The Incredibles, the Ninja Turtles from the Michael Bay Turtles, could lift the hammer. The Hulk could lift the hammer. Who else? The Thing from the Fantastic Four could lift the hammer. Wonder Woman, Cyborg, pretty much over half the Justice League, over half of the Avengers could easily lift Thor's hammer if it was by strength and strength alone. Odin in the first Thor movie did say, may whoever wield this hammer be worthy. And we saw for a little bit over half the movie, Thor Thor wasn't worthy. He had to earn the right to wield the hammer. And towards the end of the first movie, we saw Thor wielding the hammer again. And Master Splinter from the original trilogy Turtles, the 2007 animated movie TMNT Turtles. Uh, the Master Splinter from this one of Turtles was the 2003 version. The 1980s Turtles version of Splinter. The 2012 version Turtles, where I had Karai as Splinter's daughter, could wield Thor's hammer, in my opinion, because in my opinion, those versions of Splinter that I mentioned, from these three, and the two other versions of the Ninja Turtles I mentioned, could be worthy. I can see him being worthy. Uncle Iroh, since in the 2007 version Turtles, the guy who played Master Splinter also did also did Uncle Iroh in After the Last Airbender. So, that Uncle Iroh from the Last Airbender show could be worthy of wielding Thor's hammer. Yoda from Star Wars? I don't think so, cause I don't exactly think Yoda from Star Wars would be worthy, even if he was 900. But you know who can from Star Wars? The person that you see on my shirt right now, which I'm going to refer to him as his Jedi name, not his Sith name, Anakin Skywalker. Because it took Anakin to have to go through his demons, nearly losing his son, practically to CA. I know what I have to do. What I've done is wrong. I need to correct that. And I feel like if Anakin did not die at the end of Return of the Jedi, then if he was a Marvel character, he could have wielded Thor's hammer. Luke Skywalker, while we're on the topic of Star Wars, could wield Thor's hammer. Because he didn't know about his parentage. He thought his own father died. He thought Anakin Skywalker died. He didn't know up until after he got his hand cut off, that his father was one of the most evil and scariest guys of the galaxy, Darth Vader. He saw both of his Jedi Masters die in front of him. One of them by the hands of his father, the other one of old age. He saw the corpse of his aunt and uncle, who are like his parents' figure. His parents. He blew up the Death Star, and he had to get training, more training than Rey did in the sequel trilogy, to help him become a better person. And he had to earn the title of Master, Grandmaster, and stuff like that for the Jedi Order. And I'm going to temporarily ignore the sequel trilogy because he was a crab in the sequel trilogy. I'm going to focus on the Legends, which is the old expanded universe of Star Wars. Luke Skywalker, well, you can say in both versions he did this too, in the canon as well. He opened a school for the Jedi, but he was more successful in it in the Legends, and in the Legends he didn't really try to kill his own nephew because he could feel the darkness rising up. Because let's be honest, even though I do say a lot that I did not mind grumpy old Luke in The Last Jedi, he would have, besides trying to kill Kylo Ren, he would have honestly tried to help Ben Solo uh, either banish that darkness or use it in a positive way where it won't destroy anyone's lives. If you get what I'm going at. But still, if we're talking about the original trilogy Luke and the Legends version of Luke, yeah, Luke Skywalker will be worthy in wielding Thor's hammer. Uh, who else? Black Panther could potentially. I don't know. Sora from Kingdom Hearts, potentially. Riku from Kingdom Hearts. He could potentially, because like with Darth Vader, he had to battle his inner demons to find out what he has to do. And yeah, he ultimately went back to the light and fought with the heroes of the light, but still, Riku, I feel like he could have the potential of building Thor's hammer. So, with getting back to the main point of this, or the main subject of this, of what this, uh, of this video is titled, Thor could Superman wield Thor's hammer? Depends on which version of Superman. That's ultimately my final answer is depends on which version you're talking about. Because if you're talking about the Injustice, Gods Among Us Superman, then you got to give me which Superman? The Superman that went crazy after getting tricked to killing Lois Lane and their unborn child, or the Superman that helped that version Superman help the good guys put that Superman in jail or whatever in the Justice League's version of jail. Are you talking about the Man of Steel Superman, the Young Justice Show Superman, the I think it's the Man of Steel, but the Justice League cartoon series Superman, the Christopher Reeve Superman, the one person Superman that the actor, I don't know the actor's name, but this actor I'm referring to, he is Ray Palmer in the Arrowverse. But we're also talking about that Superman. I think it's like Superman Returns. But so yeah, it will with Superman is kind of a tricky question. Like with practically any superhero, it'll be a tricky question. Which Superman is like with Black Panther or the Ninja Turtles, because their comic book team might have multiple variations. Like with the Hulk, Superman, any member of the Justice League, any member of the Avengers, outside of Thor, any members of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which it will beg the question like, okay, can this character wield Thor's hammer? Okay, but which version of that character are you talking about? So that's the point I'm trying to come across. Is that, yeah, Superman potentially can wield Thor's hammer, but it only depends on that version of Superman. Like, in my opinion, the Wonder Woman from the DCEU can wield Thor's hammer, in my opinion. I'm tempted to make an entire video on why I think the DCEU Wonder Woman can wield Thor's hammer, and I'll have even more theories if she can after watching the Wonder Woman movie. It's coming out like I think next year. But anyways, that's my ultimate verdict. That can Superman wield Thor's hammer? Wield Thor's hammer. Now I'll have to say, possibly, potentially, depending on which version of Thor, depends. And you might be saying, well, you're picking on Superman, because I know some people like to put words in other people's mouths. I'm not trying to pick on Superman. I'm just being factual. Like with the Man of Steel version Superman, I don't think that version Superman will be worthy of, or at least the Henry Cavill. I don't think the Henry Cavill version Superman will be worthy of Thor's hammer. The Arrowverse Superman, maybe, but I don't think the Henry Cavill Superman can. My opinion. I don't know if that fan video of version of Superman will be able to wield Thor's hammer either. I don't know. I generally don't know. Wow, it does spark an interesting debate, though, in my opinion. And I'm more of in terms of like the movies, and I guess overall as a comic book, I'm a bit of I'm more in the movies. I'm more of a Marvel fan. In the TV shows, I'm more of a DC Comics fan. And for the games, I'm kind of like in between. But in the comic books, I'm more of a I'm like Team Ninja Turtles. That's probably my YouTube channel name. But anyways, so I'll reiterate this before I end the video. Can Superman wield? Is Superman worthy of wielding Thor's hammer? Sorry, is Superman worthy of wielding Thor's hammer? And that is possibly, depending on what Superman, though. So, do you guys think Superman is worthy of wielding Thor's hammer? Leave a comment below, and I'll catch you guys later. And may the Force be with us all. And if you don't judge me, I mentioned Star Wars earlier in this video. Don't judge me.